Alhamdulillahi wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa ala ali wa ashabi ajma'in amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Alhamdulillah, Arabic grammar in English language is going on. In a previous lecture we have learned about noun, and we have learned one most important thing regarding the noun, that if we want to use noun in any phrase or in any sentence, we must know four things regarding the noun. What are that four things? One is its capacity, that is whether that noun is indefinite or definite. We call it ma'arifa and nakra. And the second thing we must know about the noun is its gender, that is whether it is muannas or muzakkar. Third thing is we must know about its number, whether it is singular, dual and plural. And fourth thing is its case, or we may call status, that is i'rab. In a previous lecture we have learned about i'rab. Now we have moved towards the second thing, that is its gender. In today's lecture we will learn about the gender. In Arabic, gender is of two types. So today's lecture is dedicated to gender. In Arabic, gender is of two types, whether masculine gender and or feminine gender. We call it in Arabic gender jins. Jins. There are two types of gender, either masculine or feminine. Masculine and feminine. In Arabic, masculine is called muzakkar. What it's called? Muzakkar. I write it here. Muzakkar. Muzakkar. And feminine is called muannas. 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 So whenever we talk about gender, that noun on the basis of gender is divided into two parts. That noun is either muzakkar or muannas, that is either masculine or feminine. In English we know that gender is of four types. One is masculine, feminine, common gender and neuter gender. But in Arabic, either the noun comes under masculine or comes under feminine. There is no common gender, there is no neuter gender in Arabic. Now rule number one, which is very important for this topic, gender. Rule number one is all the noun in Arabic considered as muzakkar, or in English we call masculine. I repeat, all the noun in Arabic grammar considered as masculine until and unless we prove it feminine. This is the rule. Write it on your notebook. In Arabic grammar, all the nouns considered as muzakkar or masculine until and unless we prove it as feminine or muannas. So when we have learned this rule, by this rule we make decision that we have to learn feminine, because if we know about feminine, if we are able to prove any noun as a feminine, then it's feminine, otherwise that comes under muzakkar or masculine. So basically we will study only feminine. Feminine is further divided into two parts. One part is this: the noun which is used as a feminine in almost all the languages. Like if I say mother, Arabic of mother is ummun. If I say mother, mother comes under feminine gender, whether we are learning English, Hindi, Urdu, Arabic, Spanish, French, any language, in all the languages, mother comes under feminine. Similarly, if I say daughter, the Arabic of daughter is bintun. Daughter also comes in feminine category. Similarly, if I say woman, the Arabic of woman is imra'atun, where woman comes under feminine gender in all the languages. Similarly, if I say bride, the Arabic of bride is arusun, so bride is came in feminine gender. Means those noun which appears in a pair, means the daughter opposite is son, and the pair of girl is boy, and the pair of mother is father. So that noun which is by default feminine are known as muannas haqiqi. I write it here, muannas haqiqi, the real feminine. Muannas haqiqi, the real feminine. Those noun which by default comes under feminine are called muannas haqiqi or the real feminine. The examples are ummun. Ummun means mother. Daughter, the Arabic of daughter is bintun. I write it here in one more example. I write here bride. The Arabic of bride is arusun. And remember the previous lesson in which we have learned about i'rab. The i'rab of ummun, bintun, arusun is in state of rafa, or we call it marfu'is, because the sounds appears un, means the last harakat of the word is zamma, and zamma is a sign of i'rab or showing the state of rafa. I write it here in Arabic also, bintun. This is the symbol. The last letters possesses zamma, and that's why we call it, it's a marfu ism. If I write it here arusun, arusun, just focus on the last harakat of the harakat of last letter is zamma, so we declare it in state of rafa, or we call it marfu ism. Similarly, the harakat of last letter is zamma, and zamma is the symbol of marfu ism, so we call it marfu and marfu. So don't forget the previous lessons which we have already learned, and i'rab is the most important topic we almost discuss in every lecture regarding i'rab. So we are talking right now about muannas haqiqi, that noun, that muannas, that feminine which by default feminine, which is by default feminine, are called muannas haqiqi, or which is in every language considered as feminine, are called muannas haqiqi. And the opposite of muannas haqiqi is known as muannas ghair haqiqi, non-real feminine. Muannas, I write it here, muannas ghair haqiqi means non-real feminine. Means if I say chair, if I say book. If I say pen, so book, chair, pen are not considered as a real feminine. We may say feminine or masculine, depends upon what the people of Arabs used. That noun comes under muannas-e ghair haqiqi. Now further, muannas-e ghair haqiqi is further divided into two parts. We make some symbols for muannas-e ghair haqiqi to identify that whether that noun is muzakkar or muannas, or that whether that noun is masculine or feminine, to teach to those people, to those person who is not able to speak Arabic. Means to non-Arabs, if we want to try to non-Arabs that noun is considered masculine or that noun is considered muannas or feminine, what we do, we will assign certain symbols. Some nouns possesses certain symbols which on the basis of that symbols we are able to decide that okay, that noun comes under feminine case. That is the case that is called symbolic feminine, or in Arabic we call as alamati muannas. Alamati muannas. In English we may call symbolic feminine. That noun which possesses certain symbols. We will discuss right now about what are these symbols. On the basis of, we will decide whether that noun comes under muzakkar category or comes under muannas category. Try to speak words in Arabic, muzakkar or muannas, haqiqi, ghair haqiqi. Try to this speaks in Arabic language. So alamati muannas means symbolic feminine. Some nouns possesses certain symbols. Now moves, what are that symbols? First symbol is, if any noun ends with tai marbuta. What is tai marbuta? The symbol is, if any nouns end with this alphabet. This is called tai marbuta. Tai marbuta. If any nouns ends with this tai marbuta, we said this is a feminine noun. This is muannas. Is it okay? This is first symbol we have learned. On the basis of symbol, we will decide whether that noun is masculine or feminine. I will give you example. If I write here muslimatun, focus on the last letter of this word. The last letter of this word is the tai marbuta. By seeing this tai marbuta, we directly say this comes under feminine. And in which category? Alamati muannas, symbolic feminine. Is it clear? Whenever we see it is ends with tai marbuta, we say it's alamati muannas. I will give you one more example. If I write it here, mu'minatun, mu'minatun. Here again, the last letter of this word ends with tai marbuta. So by seeing this tai marbuta, we decided that this mu'minatun comes under feminine category. And amongst the feminine category, in which category it came? It will came here alamati muannas, symbolic noun, because here is showing one symbol of feminism. Okay, here showing the symbol of one muannas, feminine symbol appears here. That's why we say this is feminine gender, or in Arabic we call muannas. The meaning of mu'minatun is a believing woman. Believing woman we called mu'mina. And you know one rule of tajweed is whenever the word ends with ta'i marbuta, and if we try to do a waqf, means if I want to stop there, then the pronunciation of this ta'i marbuta is similar to ha. We call this mu'mina. We will not call mu'minatun if I want to stop here mu'mina. So this is the rule of tajweed. Any letter whose ending is with ta'i marbuta, if I want to stop there, we will pronounce it as ha. Mu'mina. Mu'mina. The meaning of mu'mina is believing woman. Mu'minatun, if I want to stop here, we will say mu'mina. Mu'mina. Is it clear? I will give you one more example. The opposite of mu'mina is kafiratun. Again, seeing the last letter of this word, it ends with ta'i marbuta. We directly say this comes under feminine gender or mu'annas, and mu'annas alamati mu'annas, symbolic feminine, because here we will see the symbol ta'i marbuta. The meaning of kafiratun is non-believing woman. Non-believing woman or non-believing woman is known as kafira. If I waqf here, if I stop there, I say kafira. The sound of ta becomes ha sound. It's a rule of tajweed. Kafiratun or kafira. I think, is it clear to you? The first symbol we have learned about the symbolic feminine is any word which ends with ta'i marbuta. I write it here, the name ta'i marbuta. This ta is called ta'i marbuta. Ta'i marbuta. Ta'i marbuta. Any noun which ends with this letter, that is said to be a feminine noun. Clear? Now there are three symbols. There are three symbols in alamati muannas or symbolic feminine. What are these? The second symbol is this. This is called alif maksura. What is called alif maksura? If any words end with this symbol, ya with this is standing fatha, we called it alif maksura. I write it here. Alif maksura. That also comes under feminine, and in which category? Alamati muannas, that is a symbolic noun. I give the example of alif maksura. Suppose I have a word kubra. Kubra. Here the ending is with alif maksura. We will call it, it comes under feminine case, and in which category? Alamati muannas or symbolic feminine, because it ends with alif maksura. Is it clear? I will give you one more example. Taqwa. Again it ends with alif maksura, so it comes under feminine gender. Right now we are just focusing to identify the noun whether it comes under masculine or it comes under feminine. So a muannas ghair haqiqi is divided into two parts. One is alamati muannas. Right now we are studying about alamati muannas, or we may call it a symbolic noun, the noun which possesses certain symbols. We have learned two symbols. One is ta'i marbuta and the second symbol is alif maksura. Is it clear? One more example I want to give. If I write sughra, sughra, here the last letter is alif maksura, so it comes under feminine. The meaning of sughra is smallest, The meaning of kubra is biggest or largest. The meaning of taqwa is God consciousness. So I think, is it clear to you about the two symbols you have learned? One is ta marbuta and the second symbol is alif maksura. Now moving towards the third and the last symbol by which we will decide any noun whether it is comes under feminine or not. This is the symbol and this is called alif mamduda. Alif mamduda means any noun which ends with hamza and before hamza alif appears and before alif the last letter possesses fatha. This is a symbol of fatha, then it is known as alif mamduda. I will give the example. Example is here. Zahra. The same case here. Last letter is hamza and before hamza is alif and before alif is the letter possesses fatha. So the meaning of is radiant. Zahra comes under muannas and in which category? Alamati muannas, that is a symbolic feminine. One more example I want to give here. Sahrau. Sahrau. Again the last letter is hamza and before hamza alif comes and before alif the letter possesses fatha. So it is known as alif mamduda. It comes under alamati muannas or we may call a symbolic feminine. So these are the symbols by which we are able to identify whether that noun comes under feminine or not. The meaning of Sahara is desert. Is it clear? Now moving to the last part, that is this space is still blank. Muannas ghair haqiqi, non-real feminine. Sometimes some noun doesn't possesses any symbols, but we still say feminine just by listening, just by hearing Arabs. If Arabs are using any word as a feminine, we also have to adopt that word as Arabic. There we have also adopted that word as feminine. So that nouns which don't have any symbols, we just consider in a feminine case just by hearing or just by listening. The case is muannase simai. The meaning of simai is on hearing. We may know this word is muannas just by hearing the people of Arabs. So the name is muannase simai. Muannas simai. Muannas simai. So how we will able to know this muannas simai? Just by our reading or listening. Means we more study, we more get these type of words. But don't take tension. Scholars give the solution regarding muannas simai. They makes a group. They makes a group regarding muannas simai. I will told you. May I erase this thing? I think you all note it down. Again I will revise you. In Arab, gender is of two types, either masculine and feminine. The golden rule for gender is all the noun considered to be masculine until and unless it is proven feminine. So we will move further about feminine. Feminine is further divided into two parts: muannas haqiqi or real feminine, and non-real feminine, which is also called muannas ghair haqiqi. Muannas haqiqi or real feminine are those noun which by default came under feminine gender. Means mother, daughter, bride, these all came under muannas haqiqi, and some muannas which is not feminine in their real case, but by identifying them with certain symbols. The symbols are ta marbuta, alif maksura and alif mamduda, that comes under alamati muannas. It is also called symbolic feminine. And some muannas which we came to know just by listening or by hearing the people of Arab, that they are using that words as feminine, we also adopt that word as a feminine in Arab. That is known as muannas simai. Now I will told you about what scholars do regarding muannas simai. They make certain groups. Muannas simai. Muannas simai. If I write it in Arabic, muannas simai. The first group, the name of the fire in Arabic is mostly feminine. The name of the fires means, I'll give you example. Write it here, the name of the fire. I'll write it here. The name of fire comes under muannas simai. Examples are narun, jahannamu. And please recollect the previous lecture also. What is the state of this noun on the basis of i'rab? It is a marfu ism. The last symbol, that is the dhamma symbol. And what is the state of this noun on the basis of i'rab? This is also marfu ism. And this is munsarif ism. The symbol of tanween is showing that it is a munsarif ism, and this is ghair munsarif ism. Jahannamu, or you may write jahimu. These are few examples of, these are the names of fire. Narun, jahannamu, jahimun. Sorry, this is jahim. Naru, jahannamu, jahimun. The name of the fires came under feminine and muannas simai. The second group, the name of wine. The name of wine comes under feminine muannas simai. I'll give you example. Khamrun. Khamrun is treated as feminine, so it comes under muannas simai. Third example, that body parts which are in pairs, means we have two hands, we have two legs, we have two eyes, two ears. So all these body parts which are in pairs comes under feminine category. Nose single, so it is not considered as feminine. Body parts which are in pair, like hands. The Arabic of hands is yadun. Yadun means hands, and yadun, because it's in pair, so comes under muannas simai. And the same thing is legs. In Arabic, legs is called rijlun. And eyes are in pairs, so comes under muannas simai, and the Arabic of eyes is ainun. Ainun. Is it clear? Udunun, ears, udunun. And try to remember the previous lecture. Whenever I write any noun, your work is to identify that noun in which state I am writing here. All the nouns are written here in a marfu state, because marfu is a by default state of any noun. Yadun, rijlun, ainun, udhunun, these are the body parts which are in pair, so comes under muannas simai. Is it clear? Few more words which comes under feminine, that is muannas simai, but that doesn't make any group, so we write it here, and that words will increase day by day with the increase of your vocabulary. Shamsun, that is sun. Shamsun, the meaning of Shamsun is sun. Sun is treated as feminine in Arabic, so we write it here some or few words which are considered feminine. Shamsun and Samaun. The meaning of Samaun is heaven or sky. Right? It is sky is better option. Sky. And Arzun. Arzun, earth. And Harbun. Harbun means war. It is also considered as feminine. And some more word like Nafsun. Nafsun means life, you may call life. Similarly, Ka'sun. Ka'sun means glass. So these are few words which came under feminine and called muannas simai. One more word, darun, house. Darun means house. And a very interesting thing regarding darun is the meaning of baitun. Baitun is also a synonym of darun, means the meaning of baitun is also house, but baitun is considered as muzakkar or masculine, but darun is considered as feminine or muannas. So these are the few words which I written here, and these are not the only words which is muannas simai. Maybe some more words you will find whenever you will study, you will read. Your vocabulary will definitely increase, and by the increase of your vocabulary, these few words category also increases. So these are all about the genders. Your work, your duty is to remember each and every lecture. The most important is i'rab. All the time I am asking about in what state this noun is written, what is the state as according to the i'rab, and I am also ask about what is the gender of this word, what is the gender of this noun, you have to know. So is it clear to everyone? In the next lecture we will discuss one more factor which is necessary whenever we want to use noun in any phrase or any sentence, that is number. We will discuss about number in next lecture inshallah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.